Hmm. Greetings, my friends. I hope this finds you well and managing with some ease. I know these past days, particularly, but even these last months, have been filled with everything. And this last week, particularly, we're so aware of suffering and adversity and injustice. And I know for me in my own heart, I often ask, what can I do to help? What can I do? And I know that as I listen, I'm trying to really listen, I also am aware that there is fear and there is anger and there is worry, and all of that's true. I'm also aware as I listen that there is movement and there is working together and voices are speaking, and this is very important. Perhaps we're finally on the verge of change. But there is one thing that over the years I have found to be very helpful in these times of any time of suffering and struggle, and whether I face it in myself or I see it in another. And it is the Tibetan practice of Tonglen. And Tonglen is a practice of exchanging oneself and another. It's the practice of sending and receiving. It can be done in a formal practice, and it can be done right on the spot. On the spot when we see or feel the suffering of another or ourselves, the idea is to actually breathe in that feeling of discomfort. Not to turn away from pain, but to breathe it in, because just like me, everyone else suffers, everyone else wants to be happy. So we breathe that in like perhaps a dark cloud, but it is met with our own awakened, joyful heart. And so we breathe out a little joy, a little love, a kindness. And so I thought we can take a few minutes to practice Tonglen together as we meet it in ourselves and in others. So if you would just take a seat or stand where you are. You might like to first just look around and see what's here, the beauty and the struggle, but don't miss the beauty. And then, if you would allow your eyes to close, if that's comfortable for you, and take a few long breaths. And as you take those breaths, feel where you are. Acknowledge what's so in this body and this mind and this heart. You know, it's the honoring of the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 woes, not to turn away, but just to meet just what's so, without a story, but just to feel. Mm. Mm. It's said that Tonglen can be used to reduce our own suffering by freeing us from our own excessive self-concern and focusing our attention on others. So as the breath allowed, perhaps it allowed the mind to settle and allowed you to touch into a softness, a kindness. Let that grow for a few moments. And then if you would bring into your heart and mind someone who is suffering. You can choose a loved one, a friend, a whole group of people, yourself. And then take a moment to reflect on the fact that just like me, this being, this group wishes to overcome suffering and to be joyful, just like me. And then take that time to really try to feel the concern, that sense of concern for the well-being of the person or group you're focusing on. If you can feel, we're feeling deep within our hearts the desire for them, for ourselves to be free of suffering. And then the practice is receiving their suffering. So as you inhale, imagine the pain, the suffering being drawn from their body, from their being, into you, but dissolving as it encounters the warmth and bright light of your compassionate heart. You might even see their pain as dark clouds. And those dark clouds dissolve as you inhale, as they encounter the bright light of your heart. And then as you next exhale, it's about giving your joy. As you exhale, imagine that you are sending that person, that group, rays of light, of softness, of love, whatever you think is needed. Your courage and confidence, your strength and joy. So remember the inhale. We repeat that. We're willing to breathe in the suffering. And as we exhale, we're willing to send and give a sense of joy and love and strength. Mm. 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 And then can we imagine that we just breathe in, if we can, we breathe in the suffering of all beings. And we exhale, sending our love and compassion and our mercy and our strength to all beings everywhere, which includes ourselves. So as you sit here, may we just fill and feel the love and light that is ever present. May all beings everywhere know happiness and the root of happiness. May all beings everywhere be free of all suffering and the root of suffering. May kindness and love shine on us and all beings. And may we remember that we are brothers and sisters. May this reach out to touch all beings and all hearts everywhere, without one exception. And as you bring your hands to your heart, honoring your own good heart that wishes well for everyone and everything, everywhere. Blessings to you. May we remember that compassion is who we are. Take care of yourselves, and may we take care of each other. Boundless blessings and Jai Bhagwan.